Hey, what the flick? Meredith, Alonso, Doctor Who, episode 9 of season 10, Empress of Mars. Welcome back to the ice people, which I just wanted to call the lizard people.
Wait, have they been around before?
Yeah. Oh, right. Because we don't have bibs here. All right.
Yeah.
So
I need filling in.
No. So these are some classic like 1960s, 1970s villains. Back in the day, they had like really interesting green cone heads, but we did see them a couple seasons ago in. Oh God, I have the notes somewhere in here, but they're called the Ice Warriors.
A Capaldi season or
no? It
previous?
was going to be it was a Matt Smith season.
Smith, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, and, again, I know nothing, so
yeah, so it's great to kind of see them back. We actually get a lot more of their backstory this time, and yeah, British people from the Victorian area on Mars, and go figure who's the real bad guy.
Colonials or colonial colonists, you know what I mean? One of those words. This was, okay, I think if I had that backstory, this episode might have meant more to me as somebody who is a relative newbie here.
I mean, honestly, I didn't even remember from the previous when they were on like in the last 3 years. I just kind of vaguely remember seeing them as a child, but they look so different that it wasn't until like I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, those are the Ice Warriors. Right, yeah. Also, why are lizard people called Ice Warriors? Well, because I think it's because Mars used to be like under ice, but still.
Yeah, but they're warm.
They're right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but without that context, I have to say this episode for me felt like one of those. Like kind of didn't feel like there was a lot of stakes because for me, a lot of times when something is in the past, we know they're going to fix it by the end of the hour, and it's like that's fine. That's how television works. But I need to feel there's something else going on that's at stake, and I didn't really get all that engaged with it. I thought the running joke about the movies was kind of weak, and the payoff was not all that great either.
Yeah, I think this whole episode served to the very end to have Missy come out of the room.
Sure, and I thought there would be more to that even, and that sort of felt like no, she's there to tell the doctor he doesn't look well.
Yeah, like we could have done that from the get-go. Though it was that was really well played of her, like kind of meekly hiding behind.
Yeah, the controls.
I know, it was really cute. But yeah, so getting into the whole meat of the episode, I mean, we've got colonials. The things too that they also established that you won't know is Alpha Centauri. The voice on the control is actually a nice hark back to a previous character and a friend of Doctor Who kind of helps set up this whole like empire that the Ice Warriors
I see.
eventually. Yeah, again, there's a lot of like
I need footnotes with these episodes sometimes.
I know. There's a lot of really old callbacks that if you're not really familiar with, especially old Who, it's going to be a little difficult to otherwise just be like, oh, here's some bad guys and here's some evil colonials, and oh, well, that's cool that the one guy who was a deserter ends up getting to fight for a new
gets a second chance, right?
Second chance, but I really liked. What was his name? Neville Catchlove.
Catchlove, that was a good name.
It was such a good, such a Snidely Whiplash type character.
Well, and those uniforms, like that particular period of sort of Victoriana, like my first thought is like those are the uniforms that you see getting slaughtered by Zulu warriors in period movies.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because there's a lot of this episode really is kind of based on some of the old like Zulu warrior films where the colonials are actually the Zulu warriors. Right. That was something that Gatiss actually wanted when he was initially going to do this episode. It was going to be a sequel to Sleep No More, and the Ice Queen does, or the Empress kind of gives a like the words. Oh God, I can't talk today. She kind of gives a nod to that because she does say "sleep no more" in her whole dialogue.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, but he kind of had this whole idea where he wanted to do this whole sequel, and based on that, so there are a lot of nods on that. Gotcha. I know this because I read an interview with Gatiss after this.
Okay. So basically, this is one for the fans.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely one for the fans. It was nice to see a lot of these throwbacks, but okay, something's wrong with the doctor. He's sick.
Right, yeah, that was a long way around to get us to that. I mean, I assume this is the beginning of the end of like this generation or this regeneration.
Yeah, news has started coming out over the weekend that BBC, they've already selected their next doctor, or nobody really knows who. Yeah, that was the big rumors on the news sites, and then I guess this regeneration is not going to be in the same vein that we've seen in the previous like new gen doctors.
Oh, really?
That's all I know. That's all the rumors say.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Well, we're used to kind of him like almost dying in order to regenerate, or kind of giving himself up, but maybe it doesn't have to be such an explosive ordeal.
Okay.
I mean, my theory is that, I don't know. My theory is that we might get 2 doctors.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we had a master and a Missy. Why can't we have
that's true.
a doctor and a doctor?
Yeah. Anything is possible.
DR.
Anything, the PhD, an MD and a PhD.
There we go. One was awarded an honorary PhD. All right, that's it.
So yeah, I'm sorry I don't have more on this episode, but I mean, again, my role here is the guy who just started watching the show, and this was not an episode designed for me.
But I mean, just even not knowing any of the backstory, what was just kind of your biggest takeaway?
It just sort of felt like one of those kind of sort of charming period episodes, but I didn't get engaged in the sort of mini conflict within it. Because we start at the end, we know that somebody's going to leave that message under the ice, and it was not one of my better. It was
episodes. One of their very known throwaway episodes.
Kinda, yeah. All right, so I feel better about that then. All right, well, we'll be back next week. We'll be better. Bye.